Part 1. Cotton and Silence.
Aaron had never known a world beyond the barbed horizon of Whitlow Plantation. Born under the weight of chains and the smell of damp cotton, the field was all he remembered. His hands were hardened by soil and sweat, his back bent by a lifetime of orders. But there was one thing that kept him human: Isaiah. Isaiah was 10, barely old enough to carry the smallest sack of cotton. He had never seen the world either, but his dreams were wide enough for the both of them. Aaron often watched him sleep, wondering what freedom looked like through the eyes of a child. For Aaron, it wasn't a place, it was a promise. Their parents had been sold weeks after Isaiah's birth. Aaron remembered the sound of his mother crying as the wagon pulled away. Since then, he had raised his brother like a father, protected him like a soldier, and loved him like a heart that refused to rot. That morning had begun like any other, silent, heavy, and filled with dread. Aaron saw Isaiah working in the distance, his small hands trembling under the weight of expectation. Then came the sound that turned blood cold, a whip crack, followed by Isaiah's scream. Zeb, the overseer, towered over the boy, lashing him again for not filling his basket. Aaron ran. No hesitation, no plan, just fury. By the time he reached them, Isaiah was curled into a knot on the dirt, blood soaking through his shirt. Aaron didn't speak. He didn't scream. He stared at Zeb with eyes that no longer feared death, and in that stillness, something ancient woke inside him. A fire that had smoldered too long. That night, as Isaiah lay moaning in their shack, Aaron whispered in the dark, "Tomorrow, we leave this place, or we die trying."
Part 2. The Path of Shadows.
The air was thick with the scent of rain and rot. Aaron packed bread crusts, a rusted knife, and a stolen flask into a burlap sack. Isaiah was asleep, his breath shallow. The boy had bruises up and down his side, and each one carved deeper into Aaron's resolve. For years he had studied the plantation, where the guards stood, which gates were rusted, which dogs didn't bark. Now, the map was alive in his mind. He carried Isaiah on his back, careful not to wake him. The boy had suffered enough. Moving through the shadows, Aaron crept past Zeb's shack. The man snored like a pig. Aaron paused. Part of him wanted to slit his throat then and there, but vengeance had a better time and place. They slipped through the outer fence, using a hole Aaron had widened weeks ago. On the other side was the swamp, vast, dark, and unforgiving. Most who entered never came back. That was what made it perfect. Isaiah stirred as they reached the marsh. "Abby," he mumbled, "are we—" "Yes," Aaron whispered. "We're leaving hell." The swamp swallowed them whole. Insects bit, thorns tore skin. Water reached their waists. But Aaron didn't stop, couldn't stop. Every step forward was one step away from chains, from screams, from Mr. Whitlow.
Part 3. Blood for Blood.
Meanwhile, the plantation roared to life. Whitlow was told of the escape by morning. His fury was instant and vile. "Find them," he roared. "Drag them back. Break the older one's legs and bring the boy alive." Hounds were unleashed. Men with torches and pistols scoured the land. But Aaron knew he had hours, maybe days, if he was lucky. And he had one advantage. Hatred was a poor hunter. He led Isaiah through abandoned trails, hiding during the day and moving only at night. When Isaiah cried out in pain, Aaron held him close and whispered, "Just a little further." He said it 100 times. He meant it every time. Then came the moment.
They reached the edge of a ravine. Across it, freedom. But a bridge blocked the way, guarded by 2 men. Aaron set Isaiah down, kissed his forehead, and vanished into the trees. He returned, minutes later, covered in blood, knife shaking in his hand. The guards would never breathe again. Isaiah didn't ask what happened. He just hugged Aaron tight and whispered, "I'm not scared anymore."
They slipped through the outer fence using a hole Aaron had widened weeks ago. On the other side was the swamp. Vast, dark, and unforgiving. Most who entered never came back. That was what made it perfect. Isaiah stirred as they reached the marsh. "Abby," he mumbled, "are we?" "Yes," Aaron whispered. "We're leaving hell." The swamp swallowed them whole. Insects bit, thorns tore skin, water reached their waists, but Aaron didn't stop, couldn't stop. Every step forward was one step away from chains, from screams from Mr. Whitlow.
Part 4. Fire and Freedom. Aaron had one last thing to do. He left Isaiah with a freedman named Clark, 2 days north, an old friend from the fields who had escaped years earlier. "Keep him safe. I'll return," Aaron said, voice hollow. Then he turned south, back toward Whitlow Plantation. He returned not as a man, but as a storm. At night he crept through the field he once bled in. He poured oil across the cotton rows, lit matches with shaking hands, watched the flames rise like the cries of every soul ever crushed beneath that soil. And then he entered the big house. Mr. Whitlow was asleep when Aaron arrived. He woke to the smell of smoke and Aaron's voice, "Now you burn too." The house lit behind him as Aaron walked away. Whitlow screamed from within, windows glowing orange like the gates of hell. Part 5. Echoes. Aaron never told Isaiah what he had done. He didn't need to. The boy healed, slowly. But his eyes carried shadows now. They settled in a quiet village, far beyond the cotton belt. Aaron worked with his hands again, but this time they built, not harvested. Sometimes, when the wind blew a certain way, Isaiah would ask, "Do you still hear the fire?" Aaron would nod. Because freedom had a price, and he had paid it in full.